Hey, it's Cat at Cattails TV. So let's talk a little bit about Jack Smith and January 6th and the Trump indictments. I think he's got 78 charges so far, not just with the January 6th thing, but with all the charges. But check that, because every day there's a new indictment or a new charge. But I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but on January 6th, whatever year that was when that happened, was it 21? Was it before? I don't even remember. Such a nightmare. It was definitely during COVID. And unfortunately, I was around a bunch of people who didn't think that January 6th was a serious matter. I remember calling my mother and crying and screaming like a lunatic, talking about they lied. Let me explain that to you. As a black person who has dealt with a lot of shit in America, I had a little bit of hope, but it wasn't as racist as I'd seen or heard. But on January 6th, I felt in my heart that if those were blacks or Hispanics marching on that Capitol in numbers, that the people who were supporting Trump, who were mostly white, I would say 99.9% were Caucasian. If they were people of color and en masse, they would have been shot to death. There is a difference. They treat people differently here. You know, it was interesting because I had a friend, pseudo-friend, who is from Canada, and I was talking about racism and how it affects us. And he tried to man-explain me about racism in America. And I had to tell him the story of my grandmother, who was discriminated against in the city that she lived in, where she couldn't, even though she owned the building, she couldn't live on the same floors as white people. So that's some things that a lot of Caucasians do not understand, is that racism does exist. Maybe not to them. They don't understand it. They don't have a living history of it. But for regular folks, we know what it tastes like. And it tastes like shit. So, January 6th bugged the fuck out of me. And considering my sister worked in law enforcement, and not only that, my family members have served this country, even in a time where we were discriminated against. When I say we, people of color, they served this country in wars that maybe they shouldn't have been in. I just wanted the same respect that, or the same equality that Caucasians got. Obviously, we didn't. January 6th, to me, was treasonous. Absolutely treasonous. And it also showed how easy it was for Caucasian people to storm the Capitol without any ramifications, without getting shot to death on sight. And so let me break it down for some of the slow people on the bus. Imagine you're in your house and all of a sudden people you don't know storm into your house. They take a shit on your couch. They're looking for your wife or your husband to hang, to lynch. How would you feel? Answer that question honestly. And if you had a gun, would you shoot them to death? What the fuck do you think the Capitol, or what do you think January 6th looked like to other people around the world? Do you think that made America look great? Do you think it looked like America was strong, that democracy held fast? Or do you think it lowered the esteem of this country? You know what I'm saying? Because if I was a European or a person of Asian descent in China or Russia, I would say, hey, all I gotta do is get some white people in America to do shit, because they're not gonna do anything. In other words, I mean to do shit, to do, insurrection shit, to cause havoc. Because they treat people of color differently than they treat people that are lighter. So you gotta understand, I'm done with being patient with people who are cool with Trump. I don't even know how long this shit's lasted. It's lasted for so long. Because when I worked in Beverly Hills, I had to deal with Schwarzenegger not answering questions about Trump. I mean, real questions. Like actually putting his foot down saying Trump was a bad guy. Everybody was trying to be like, oh, I don't want to lose my clout with the GOP, so I'm not really going to say anything. But they waited years later. Schwarzenegger started talking about, the Holocaust. Like, what was it, this year? How long has that been? I'm talking about from when Trump was running for office. And how come I knew that he was going to do horrible things? I mean, I made videos where I was explaining to people they need to learn how to defend themselves because shit was going to go down. But I don't even know if that video is still up on my YouTube page because it seems so long ago. It seems like a lifetime ago. Anyway, I'm honestly saying this. I can't even deal with people that are pro-Trump anymore. I've been patient and understanding enough. And you guys need... My face is melting, by the way, because it's hot as fuck. Sorry. I'm going to do a shoot outside. Oh my god, I look shit. But anyway, I'm done. It's over. What he did was against the law, and I hope he pays the price for it. And everyone that helped him, aided and abetted him, that fucking criminal, I hope they serve time in prison. What he did was wrong. It wasn't a friendly protest. And I want you to remember that it came to the Black Panther Party. They blew up people's homes in Chicago when they weren't even doing anything, when they were asleep. They treat black people differently here. That's a fact. So I just want to make sure justice is served for Mr. Trump and all those grifters and racists and GOP members that allowed that seditionist act to transpire. To me, it was absolutely treason. And I wish Jack Smith and Mr. Bragg, and I'm so sorry my brain can't remember all the names and all the people that are going after Trump for his many crimes in different states. But also, by the way, he had fake electors trying to take over your vote. Do you understand what that means? Like, they were reversing back to when blacks couldn't vote, really. And you guys are okay with that? If you are, we're not on the same page. So anyway, this is Cattails to V. Sorry. I'm wishing Jack Smith Godspeed. Bye.